This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at McCabe Law LLC of Portland, Maine. If you're looking at jumping into either the Maine or Massachusetts legal marijuana markets, then one of your first calls should be to Chris McCabe and his team of pros over at McCabe Law LLC of Portland, Maine. Make sure you're covered from lease to license and from seed to sale by opening up McCabeLawLLC.com to get in touch. That's spelled MCCABE LawLLC.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, October 12th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 350 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day brings us out west to Northern California, which is still being savaged by a series of wildfires driven by strong seasonal winds. I've talked about this a couple of times this week, both in context of the legal marijuana industry and just as a larger story. Leafly posted a series of photos of a burnt-out medical cannabis farm that I think offers a unique perspective on this terrible ongoing tragedy. Sometimes when things are really bad, really big, it can be helpful to narrow your perspective on one particular angle. There's a video of a post office truck driving around a burnt-out neighborhood looking for mailboxes to deliver to that does a good job of that. Leafly's collection of photos from the San Francisco Patient Relief Center Medical Cannabis Farm does the same thing. Open this one up for the full read. And with the fires still burning today, I hope everyone stays safe and sound. Our second top story of the day continues on the theme of the first by taking a look at the large-scale tragedy of Puerto Rico's post-Hurricane Maria recovery through the focused lens of medical marijuana. The U.S. territory, home to just under 3.5 million Americans, has had to deal with the double hits of Hurricane Maria as well as the slams President Trump has been throwing their way because he's terrible at his job, a cruel and vicious bully, and has a pathological need for constant praise. Just this morning, President Trump tweeted a threat to withdraw FEMA from the island because he's an asshole. Marijuana Business Daily has a good piece up by Bart Shainman that looks at how the post-hurricane recovery has been going for the island's medical marijuana industry. As Bart's reporting, every outdoor cultivation field on the island was destroyed by the winds, though some indoor sites survived. Of the 29 dispensaries spread over the island, just 19 have managed to open their doors, with most still running on limited generator power. This is another story you should read in full. Wrapping up our top stories, we have a headline that's a little more upbeat than our first two, with the state of Colorado reporting that it has hit the $1 billion legal marijuana revenue mark in just 8 months this year, 2 months ahead of the time it took to do the same last year. The Cannabist extrapolated sales data issued by the state every month and figured that both adult use and medical sales combined to hit $1.02 billion by the end of August, dumping $162 million in tax money into the old state coffers. August sales in Colorado totaled just under $137 million, with $100 million of that coming from adult use and the remaining $36 million in change from medical. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, McCabe Law LLC of Portland, Maine. One of the reasons you need to hire a team of legal pros like Chris McCabe and his crew over at McCabe Law is to free yourself up to worry and focus on the things that you are uniquely qualified to tackle. Smart entrepreneurs know how to leverage their team, from their in-house staff through support agencies like McCabe Law, to get more work done. Offload all the legal and operational stuff that McCabe Law is great at to them and focus on developing your unique product and selling to your customers. Swing over to McCabeLawLLC.com to learn more about all the things they're good at and to get in touch. That's spelled MCCABE LawLLC.com. All right, time for the blitz. Gage Peak over at Leafly picked up on the news that Canadian licensed medical marijuana provider Canopy Growth is launching a new project to double their production capacity with the acquisition of up to 3 million extra square feet of greenhouse space. The project will be structured as a joint venture with a large operator of greenhouse space and will be called BC Tweed Joint Venture Inc. Not very creative. The new greenhouse space is located in British Columbia and will be converted over from its current use to grow peppers to cultivate cannabis. Yesterday, Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed shared the news that he had signed on Tuesday a proposed and approved city council measure to decriminalize marijuana, removing the threat of jail time and large fines for being caught with up to less than an ounce of cannabis. According to Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moments, there was some confusion earlier yesterday over whether the mayor had actually vetoed the decrim proposal, though thankfully that veto was for another matter. Turning back north to Canada, we have some potential conflict brewing over the choice of the province of Ontario to restrict the sales of adult-use marijuana to those 19 years of age and older. The friction point is being caused by the fact that the nationally set age for adult-use marijuana is 18, which sets up a host of possible situations that will test the government, such as how will online sales from dispensaries outside Ontario handle mail-order delivery to 18-year-olds living in Ontario? Or how about 18-year-olds that want to grow cannabis plants at home? Under federal law, they'll be able to. There's a lot of questions to be worked out, and we'll be tracking them as they come. Massachusetts' Vineyard Gazette has another good piece diving into a host of complications wrought by the conflict of local and federal law, though obviously this time it's a split between Massachusetts state law, which is opening up to embrace legal adult-use marijuana, and U.S. federal law, which still holds cannabis to be the devil's weed. This week, 2 members of the state's Cannabis Control Commission held a public hearing on Martha's Vineyard to hear about the unique challenges facing island residents. In short, the only way to get marijuana from the mainland to islands like Martha's Vineyard is to fly or boat it in, both of which involve using federal air or sea space, where getting caught with cannabis can still land you in loads of trouble. I'm not sure what the solution to this one is, but it's an interesting situation that's likely to pop up in any state with offshore citizenry. Yesterday, a circuit judge in Baltimore ruled that a case involving the state and how they issued medical marijuana business licenses could move forward, overruling motions by state lawyers to dismiss. The suit was brought by 2 high-scoring applicants who were stripped of winning in favor of 2 lower-scoring teams that were located in a part of the state not served by other winners. The 2 applicants bringing the suit, Maryland Cultivation and GTI Maryland, argue that they were never told that geography was being factored in and given no opportunity to move to a different part of the state to keep their license. No date has been set for the trial yet, but if the 2 applicants are successful in their pursuit of justice, the state would be ordered to fix things in some way that's bound to disrupt someone's day. This is another one we'll be following. The state of Maine has picked a new director of its medical marijuana program and announced yesterday that Craig S. Patterson, a former analyst with the state's Department of Health and Human Services, would step up to fill the year-long vacancy. And finally for today, yesterday, U.S. Congressional Representative Earl Bloom of Oregon testified before a U.S. House subcommittee on the benefits of using medical marijuana to treat opioid addiction. Swing over to the Cannabist to catch a video of the congressman's testimony and to read a well-researched fact sheet he has been distributing about how medical cannabis can help reduce the abuse of opioids. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, McCabe Law, LLC, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.